Hey, it's Scott Kubo. We've got Tesla Navigate on autopilot with no lane change confirmation. And a little bit of a warning here, trying to complete maneuver. I guess because this lane merges, it's a little unusual. And there's a vehicle in the way as indicated by the red. And as soon as that passes, the car will change lanes. Very nice. And it indicates that it wants to change lanes again. So you'll hear a chime as well as a visual indication. So a little bit of a hesitation, but then it gets right back in there as soon as the lane is clear. I think I was a little worried about that white car to our left. In previous versions it would really swing all the way back into lane, but this has improved a bit. Now traffic is slowing down and the car wants to get over to the left. So yeah, in recent versions it's gotten a lot more aggressive about fitting into these small spaces in between two cars, where many versions ago it would just not even try. Also, Autopilot would want to change lanes, but it wouldn't start signaling or moving over until you confirm that by pushing down on the drive stalk. Now, with the no lane change confirmation option, it'll start signaling on its own, but it won't move over until the path is clear and it feels your hand on the wheel. Okay, that SUV slowed down, so it pauses a bit and then goes right in.
Ooh. Oof. Wow.
So I wasn't sure how I was going to handle that, but it actually handled it quite appropriately. So I really like how instead of aborting that lane change and going all the way back to its original lane, it now will kind of pause and then resume as the space opens up. I wish it could be a little smoother, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Now I want to increase the follow distance a bit, and at setting 4, it'll leave about 2 seconds of space in between me and the car ahead of us. If you decrease it all the way to 1, it'll leave about a 1-second gap, and if you increase it all the way up to 7, it'll leave about a 3-second gap. And I just want to check the settings to make sure we're going to use HOV lanes is activated. So we'll try to get into that HOV lane on the left. It starts signaling a little bit early because that solid line is still there and it can't cross it, but it does start signaling quite early when it knows there's an opening coming up. And when that opening shows up there with the dash line, it moves over quite nicely. Very impressive. But like I said, it does signal a little early. Most human drivers wouldn't start signaling until they see the dash line show up. So we made it through all those lane changes, and now staying within its lane is pretty easy for Autopilot, so we can speed up the footage a bit. As I was saying, with the no confirmation option, it'll start signaling on its own, but it won't actually start moving unless it feels the light torque on the steering wheel from your hand. And I feel like Tesla's kind of still playing it safe because that's still sort of like you are confirming the lane change. Anyways, what I like to do is just kind of rest my hand on the bottom of the wheel and just apply constant light resistance to the steering wheel. And that actually allows me to really not only see what the car is doing, but also feel what it's doing in terms of its lane changes.
Holy sh**.
So some sudden debris on the road, and that's why with Autopilot on you still have to pay attention at all times. And that beep was not the car, that was me censoring out my language. Sorry about that, guys.
I think it would have detected that.
So currently the radar-based automatic emergency braking will ignore stationary objects when you're traveling at highway speeds. And that's not just Tesla. Most all other radar-based AEB systems will operate in this way. There's just so many signals, some stationary objects like signs or the debris that's not even in your lane, that you don't want the car to suddenly brake when it really shouldn't. Some might say it saw the obstacle but didn't brake because it went under an overpass. But I haven't seen any evidence that so far the Autopilot uses or the cameras to detect debris on the road. If you do know of some videos showing this on the highway, leave that in the comments and share that with. So I'm sure the Autopilot team is working on that problem, but it's just really hard to classify the obstacles correctly so that it doesn't accidentally slam on the brakes. But I think what would be neat is if they released it as just a warning where the car would beep when it senses an obstacle coming up ahead. but wouldn't actually brake. And then we drivers would make the decision to actually slam on the brakes or not, or swerve, and thereby train the system. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're researching to purchase a Tesla and you found this video helpful, click on the link and find out how you can get free supercharging. And the car following its navigation and making automatic lane changes, that's part of the full self-driving package add-on. Okay everyone, please stay alert and be safe out there on the road. Hope you have a really great day and see you in the next video.